Hi, I'm Rebecca from Built by Beck, and today I'm going to show you how to build this curved nightstand inspired by a Lulu and Georgia nightstand that sells for almost $900. I built it for $150 and I am going to show you how to do it.
For this build, you'll need 2 sheets of 4x2 plywood, 3/4 inch thick. I used red oak plywood because I love the grain, and I cut it down to size with my Craig AccuCut. I do find it is very accurate. I cut the legs with my table saw, and then it was time for curve cutting. I took the whole top of the nightstand and started about 2 inches in from the end of each side, and I cut grooves on each side. I did them about a 1/2 inch apart to get the curve that I wanted. I just played around with this. I did a lot of trial and error to figure out exactly the curve that I wanted, and you aren't necessarily really supposed to use it with your fence on your table saw, but it worked really well for me. I had no kickback and I was really careful. And that, my friends, is how you bend wood. I put together the base with pocket holes and wood glue, which is super strong, and then I could just get it done really quickly. I started off by attaching the sides to the top. This will actually help hold the curve in place. Then I attached the back and the bottom. Clamps are your best friend when you're using pocket holes. It helps keep everything in the right place. Since this nightstand is for my daughter, she decided to do a little helping in the shop. To fill the kerfs of the wood, I used PA glue. You can also use just regular wood glue. I used way too much PA glue, which you should not do because it foams up and is difficult to sand. I always use this method when making drawer boxes. I set my saw blade to 1/4 inches and then run all sides of the bottom of the drawer box through, and this will create a groove for the bottom of the drawer, or what's called a dado. This makes sure that the bottom is really strong. I use just pocket holes to assemble the main drawer box, and then I pop that 1/4 inch plywood bottom in, and it is super durable. And best of all, when you have pocket holes facing the front and the back, you won't see any of them. I made my own hardwood edge banding by first cutting some wood into 1/2 inch strips, and then I planed them down to 1/8 of an inch. I like using wood edge banding because it is more durable. It's much better than iron-on. Iron-on over time tends to peel and fall off, whereas the hardwood edge banding just stays on there forever. You glue it with wood glue and it is just stuck on there. I traced the edge banding because of the curve. I had to make it a little bit wider so that it could accommodate the curve, and I just cut it out with my jigsaw. This is a rough cut. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you will see why in a minute. You don't necessarily have to use clamps for this. You can nail it if you're painting or if you don't mind filling those nail holes. I also like to use painter's tape as a clamp. It's a very light clamp, but it works in these situations. Once the glue is dry, I'm using a flush trim bit to flush up that hardwood edge banding with the actual case of the nightstand. This works super well. Make sure when you're routing that when you're going on the outside, you're starting on the left, and when you're going inside, you're starting on the right. That makes sure the router goes in the right direction, and then you won't have any kickback. I know a lot of you are afraid to attach drawer slides. I highly recommend getting the Craig drawer slide jig. It really helps to hold up the drawer slides while you're screwing them in, and then you can get a perfect drawer. For the drawer front, I used a similar method as I did the edge banding. I put the 1x8 on top of the whole case and then traced it from the bottom. Then I cut out that curve with the jigsaw. It's not perfect, so you have to do a little sanding to get it just how you want it, especially with an inset drawer. You're gonna have to make an accurate reveal on all 4 sides, so make sure you're cutting it close, and then just use your sander to get it how you want it. I use double-sided tape to actually attach the drawer front to the drawer. It makes it a lot easier to keep it in place before you're screwing it in. This cheap hardware jig from Amazon has saved my life. I don't know what I would do without it because I hate drilling hardware, but this never fails me, especially for these knobs. Screwing knobs is definitely easier than it is for handles, and when you're doing two, you need it to be accurate, but this is amazing. I then use the Rubio Precolor in Intense Black with a paint pad. Paint pads are great for staining. They make it go on really easily, and when you're staining, make sure you lay it on nice and thick, and then you're gonna wipe it off in the direction of the grain. To get a super intense black, I used Rubio Monocoat Oil plus 2C in black. You're just gonna rub it on, and there it is. You have a beautiful nightstand. If you liked this video and this build, don't forget to like and subscribe for more furniture builds.